So, before we get into it, TCG Bugs hard, man. I want to show you guys the story of FleetQuest, okay? I'm going to read you a story. Also, hey, Derek, thank you for raiding. I didn't know you raided. I was so out of this. Yeah. Thank you for the raid. Party of 3. Yeah. We're gonna dive into this. I gotta read you a story. Okay? This is a true story. Totally true. As true as fiction can be. You see, FleetQuest is a squirrel who lives in a tree. One of many in a magical forest. In this one tree, he lives in isolation. He loves to explore the forest, climbing, jumping from tree to tree, watching the other critters in the forest, and sometimes pilfer books from fairies. He often takes a lot of books. He brings them home, and he lines them up in bookshelves in the walls, just full of stolen books filled with wonderful tales he reads over and over, filling himself with wonder and joy. One day, he found himself deeper in the woods, and he found a large tree stretching into the clouds. He was so mesmerized that he began to climb the tree until he reaches near the top, where he finds a house, a tree house. This house was just a huge abode. It was filled with strange inventions and trinkets. There was rooms of maps, of globes, of stars, and there were many, many more books. He wandered slowly around the rooms, and he wondered whose home could have been at the top of this tree. It was until then he wandered upon a room where he laid his eyes upon a tome. This tome was on a stand. It was a magical grimoire, a cover adorned with a golden trim, a rough tree bark surface, and an emblem of a four-pointed golden star twinkling against the night. It twinkled and twinkled with all light. His eyes sparkled as he slowly approached the book and opened the cover. The book shined a bright light, and the contents within were so powerful, it forever changed the squirrel, leaving a golden glow in his eyes where his black irises used to be, and where the dark within became light. Suddenly, he heard a deafening shriek echoing throughout the house. It snapped the squirrel out of the fugue state. He quickly grabs the large book and runs towards the entrance, where then he saw the owner of the house. A large, dark, towering figure, an owl in a shadowy cloak, a black, wispy smoke enveloping his body, and a gaze, a fiery yellow. When the gaze of the owl and the squirrel met, there was one thing for certain. FleetQuest the squirrel was the intruder, and he would not leave unpunished. FleetQuest shook his head, and dashed between the owl's legs, running through the smoke, dashing outside the door. The owl then gave chase, narrowly missing a step. FleetQuest ran past and slid down the branches. He looked past to see the clouds begin to swirl, and the owl opened upon his wings, revealing a constellation pattern in his wings, matching that to a night sky. The owl lets out another shriek as he gives chase. The squirrel was paralyzed with fear. He looks down to see that he took the wrong branch, and there was only the ground far, far below. He looks back to see the owl taking off and diving towards him, with silvery talons bared to strike. FleetQuest has to make one choice, to jump holding the grimoire in hand, and takes a fatal fall. As he's plummeting towards the ground, he clutches the grimoire tightly, hoping, wishing that things were different. If he would live once more, the many wonders he could do, the chances he could take, until everything goes black. FleetQuest the squirrel wakes up from his bed, the morning light peeking into his home. He throws up the covers, jumps out, feeling around his hands, is it checking any signs of injury or any proof that it may have been a dream. It is then he sees a grimoire on the table of his bed. Not a scratch, not a smudge, just there. He opens the grimoire to see something new on the first page. The first page reads as such. This is a tale of FleetQuest, in which FleetQuest is a squirrel who lives in a tree, one of many, in a magical forest. Okay, story time's over. Interesting story, right? I better hope so. And that's my story. I'm FleetQuest. And yeah, that is a magical book. That is a magical book that tells me everything that is happening and going to happen, but it says it in vague sense. I just came to the conclusion that the book will write its own, and what happens is what you decide. I can make choices, but honestly, y'all have the effect in it too. At least that's the best I can understand, in all honesty. Okay, let me quickly switch things over now. Now, let's get... I knew this story, but it was about a turtle named Old Greg. I don't know, I wrote this... I'm pretty sure I wrote this up myself. I don't know anyone named Greg. I knew a Kinku named Greg. Now, who is FleetQuest, alright? I'm a blue squirrel. I'm 5'9". I'm age 25, but that's whenever I climbed the tree. I haven't aged since. The last time I went adventuring out and checked a historical book, it's been 300 years, so I like to say that I'm forever 25. That seems about right. My birthday is March 2nd. I speak English because most folk tales are in the old Anglian language. Although I'm not really fond of these thous, and those. I'm more kin to modern English now. Easy to understand. Dust on window breaks is Shakespearean, and I'm not a particular fan of. One of my favorite pastimes when growing up is I used to love reading manuals in old video game lores. Like back in the day when we used to get video games in cases, you would always get a video game and you get a manual that gives you the controls, but it also gives you some story stuff, what goes on in the game. It'll give you like fun little like informations and stuff. One of my favorite things was reading the Sonic Heroes manual about how it gives you a description of the main characters and all of the team members, except for there was this one character that they talked about that had a silhouette and you wouldn't know who it is until you played the game and you find out it was the main villain of the game. Who it is, I'm not gonna tell you. You're gonna find that out eventually. You can easily look up Wiki for that, honestly. Also, I tend to be whimsical and mischievous. I have been allegedly called a thief, even though I happen to find the books laying around, and they're not reading them, so I take them. It's just how it is, yeah. Also, I like taking memorabilia from places. So if I'm going to an ancient, like, ancient Aztec temple and I see a golden monkey, I think, oh cool, that'll look neat on my wall. It wouldn't make me a thief, would it? No, certainly not. Also, I kind of like things and like the histories behind stuff. I like everything has a story, and I love to understand what those stories are. Now, there we go. So, what are my likes and dislikes? All right, for food, I like savory umami stuff. I like ramen noodles. I like chicken and rice. Chicken and rice is like one of my most favorite meals. I just like the seasoning and such on it. I do like salty food a bit too. I love me some mac and cheese. Baked mac and cheese is always my go-to. It's so good. Cheese, I'm not too particular on. I'm not a fan of Parmesan. I don't like Parmesan too much. But I do love, cheddar cheese, and I like white cheddar. It's so good. For snacks, I like eating walnuts, pecans, and almonds. Yes, my favorite snacks is indeed nuts, because I'm a squirrel. So, yes. If I had to pick between the three, I would have to say pecans is my most favorite. I just enjoy pecans. Not only that, but where I currently stand, there's usually a couple pecan trees. You can always go around and get it. I had a friend who, honestly, his favorite pastime during a certain season would basically to gather pecans and sell them. And I always like to get it back for myself. And for my beverages, I like drinking coffee, because to me, coffee is very therapeutic. I think maybe because of the caffeine. I just like coffee with a little bit of creamer to it, and I like pretty much anything that's like lime flavored or lemon lime flavored. So yeah, gamer subs can count for that too. I like taking a little gamer subs once in a while. I don't use it enough, and my issue is that if you don't use it for like a month or so, it gets all clumpy and stuff, and it's a big issue. As for dislikes, I don't like sour foods. I don't like cucumbers. I don't like riddles and Rubik's Cubes. Small, like little riddles are completely fine, but you try to give me a metaphorical riddle, that's gonna go over my head and I won't have enough. I would be sitting on that thing for hours because I'm trying to figure out what it is and my mind goes completely blank. Also, I don't like bees, spiders, and owls at night because owls at night spook me and scare me. As you already know, I might have one always after me. As for hobbies, I like writing small stories. I'm currently working on a fantasy novel that I'm writing for myself. I've been kind of slowly let it, been baking on one for a while. I've currently got like 2 chapters written into it. I'll talk about it another day. I like playing card and board games, like playing D&D. I am considered a forever DM, where I am great at weaving narratives and stories. Some people in the chat have been part of my campaigns. It has the One Piece feel to it, although not necessarily pirate themed. Oh yes. One of these days, I do want to build a homebrew D&D campaign, but that takes a lot of time and artwork to do. And a lot of days, people tend to want to use AI to make artwork, and that's a very controversial subject. And I'm not a fan of if I haven't run into using AI generated assets. I definitely don't want to stream it where it's monetized. Because to me, AI generated work is in itself, and it's kind of just a hot take, where it's such a widespread thing now. I don't see a reason for a person to use it. I don't see the harm in it in someone using it recreationally, as long as they're not trying to make money off of it. If it becomes a point where it becomes making for profit, then at that point you're basically stealing from artists. That's how I feel. That's my kind of stance on it. There are AI generated work, like there are data banks where they are curated from people that donated their artworks, but there's a lot of them where their artworks are stolen, and that's not ethical. I'm not a fan of that. But anyway, this is not about AI generated stuff. My stance is, I want to one day stream D&D, but if I do, I gotta be awfully careful about how I go about doing that. Also, I like binge watching anime. Once in a while, I can't say this is an all-time thing, but when I'm doing things, whether I'm playing an MMO or I'm working on something, I like playing anime in the background. I like watching an entire series. Okay. What, join it and binge watching the anime, or joining D&D? That's honestly kind of cool for both. I'll donate an orchard to the cause. That'd be crazy. In that case, I would if you want to donate your art, then you're gonna have to write a whole beastarium. I'll be like, hey, I need you to make artwork for 25 NPCs. And we'll cheese it by making, hey, make this knight, but make the color of this knight 5 different colors. Bam, done. Anyway, I like watching isekai animes. Isekai animes are very fun. I'm also a fan of slice of life animes as well. I'm not too big on action animes, although if there's a lot more going on with the action anime, then I kind of like it. I've been watching some of these recent ones like Fearin. Fearin was really great. There was another one. I think it was called the Bride of. Oh, what was the name of it? I forgot what it was called, but it was like Bride of the Lich or something like that. Kamen Rider got hit. Oh no. I know we watch a little bit of Kamen Rider now and then. One of these days, if I'm allowed to, I would dedicate a couple streams to just do Kamen Rider content. That would be interesting. But, what was it? If I had to say some favorite animes on the top of my head, which I wrote down while I was making these. Oh, Kamen Rider got hit, all your sights are gone. Oof. That was eventually was gonna happen. Okay. My favorite animes at the top of my head was Konosuba, which is very hilarious isekai. Delicious in Dungeon, which is I like the fantasy idea of it, about how dungeons are like these living ecosystems and people like cook monsters. It's really cool and interesting. Also, the characters are just nuts. My Dear Friend Nokotan is it's hilarious. It is downright, like, I was baffled by how hilarious it is. Last manga I read was, actually, I was just reading one, oh god, I can't remember the name of it. I was just reading one earlier today, about this, it was literally about this dude who dropped in from a spaceship, and he dropped into a planet that was full of like Basically they were full of furries, but not in the furries that you think. It's kind of like Zootopia, and the people in Zootopia were flipping out because a human showed up, and they think it's an alien. So they take like a very like serious political approach to it. It's really cool. I forgot the name of it is though. Also, One Piece. If I had to say like longest running anime I ever watched for the longest time was obviously One Piece. Favorite games is I like the Sonic franchise. I like the Monster Hunter franchise. Mainly the actual Monster Hunter, not the Monster Hunter RPGs. Like the Monster Hunter stories. I do want to eventually get into them, and I did touch a little bit of the first and second one. Eventually that will happen on stream, hopefully. Final Fantasy XIV, the best MMO out there in my opinion. When I first went into it, at first I wasn't really into it, but then the story hooked me, and I love the story since. And I like played by games like Stardew Valley. Now, what are my goals for streaming? Obviously, you can see how cool my headbanger is right there. Hell yeah. Honestly, my goal is just to use my streams to go on adventures. A new day is like turning the page in my book, and I would love to fill it with adventures that I take on. Whether it's diving into the depths of Subnautica, or solving mysteries and proving folks' innocence as a lawyer, and like Ace Attorney. I want to go on these adventures, and I want you all to come with me. I want to share these moments with you, okay? I want you all to be all a part of the story. Sonic and the Black Knight. Sonic and the Black Knight win. Whenever I get my capture device back and I can play with original motion controls. Because that's the best way to go about doing it. Actually, I'm really curious if I wonder if I can retrofit a Steam controller to use gyro controls as an emote. I have to look into that. That would be really sick if that's possible. Yeah, I would have to break out the old tech to get Sonic and the Black Knight working. I own Sonic and Black Knight, but I don't know if it still works. I'm gonna have to get myself a new copy. I want to actually, hold on, I'm actually very curious if Wiimotes actually do work on emulators. I have to look into that. But yes, my other one is building a party. Kind of like in a DM sense. Honestly, I'll read this out. I like to build a party for everyone to join in and have fun. We can just goof around and enjoy our time. This is a safe place, and I feel like we all can just vibe here while there's chaos all around us. I like a little bit of chaos. I like things being a little chaotic. I don't want I don't want us going down and like burning down the neighbor's house kind of chaos. But I like things look a little bit of chaos, you know? If someone hits me in the face with an acorn, you know, that's chaotic enough. I can tolerate that. But don't throw acorns at people and like give them concussions and stuff. Especially if they can't handle it. We don't want any hospitals. Now, let's get into the concept here. This is the concept design. We originally came up for this design here. This is the 2.0, as well as the familiar. Honestly, this is what I imagine y'all are like. If y'all keep on following me around, you're gonna be like these little spirits. Like this little guy here, who constantly like slides around like SCP. He doesn't hardly move. He just stares and his eyes move around in his mask, kind of like a little Mimikyu. I always wondered if like someone tried to get into his suit, if it suck a soul out. He has that very weirdness about him. But yes, this concept was made by Fuhai-sama, is the artwork. I, at one point, really wanted Fuhai to work on some actual artwork, but Fuhai's been really unavailable. But it's just completely fine. I'm just happy that she helped me come up with a design. Some inspirations for this was that we wanted something a little different from my 1.0 design, which was kind of roughly based on Konosuba. I wanted to kind of go with I really want to lean into like an adventure / scholar look, and I feel like this worked out very well. So yeah, special thanks to Ariel, Mifune, Kozakaze. I think that's the name. Was it? I might be wrong with that one. And Fuhai, who are all members of Lola V, for helping come up with this design. Also, as Rich has commented, yes, I've showed the design for some people, and I'm not gonna say who, but some of them have said that they find my character to be very hot. Speaking of models, also, yeah, look like little guy here. Alright, I have 3 models. I have one 3D, a 2D ping tuber, and another 2D ping tuber. Okay? All of them have different styles. Also, any of these animated emotes, we also have them as animated ones if you subscribe. So, for example, this one right here, I actually got that as a little emote too. So, this is my 3D Vroid. I want to specify that it was a Vroid based model because that is the software that was used to make the 3D model, and it was touched up in Blender. This was made by Smeezy VT, a person who has made my original emotes as well as contributed to making the original model. But yeah, I like this one because it was like the first 3D model made from the design, and honestly, with the way how the clothes are, it's just really cool to like do all kinds of different poses in it. This is the 2D ping tuber style. This is made by Thorn Devil. Only have 3 poses. Not a lot of expressions, but I can always get more expressions if you like this art style. This art style doesn't have long hair, which is the only really downside of it. I like the sharpness that it has, but I kind of wish they had longer hair, like longer, messier hair. Alright, brace yourself. This was gonna be a doozy. You know how I said I like the Sonic series? That means I'm a Sonic fan. And Sonic fans are always known to have Sonic OCs, right? Yeah, I have my own Sonic OC. This is FleetQuest, the squirrel. Honestly, I really like this design. It's actually one of my most favorite designs. There was a part of me that really wanted to lean into this. But yeah, I have my own emblem, my official character art, as well as the VTuber model, which is on the right side. The one on the right is a PingTuber model that has its own different poses. Each one of these was done by a different artist, in which, honestly, I'm very happy with what they did. And last, this is my special thanks. The artwork on the right here, feels like it's like the best art piece that I have that represents adventure. I do want to say special thanks to all these people here. One for your little seal puppy, also known as Sealy, for helping work on my logo design. Lapone Bay, who helped work on emotes, which, by the way, I will go ahead and post them here right now, if I can find them. Where are they? Sorry, we might have an ad going on right now. So Lapone Bay was one responsible. Might have to add a couple people actually. Well, see, I added a lot of people to this. Now I did not. There is some people I did not get to add on here because I ran out of space, which I wanted to go ahead and recognize. Laputty Bay did the emotes. Skytracker Joel's the one responsible for the profile picture artwork. My ad's over, so I'm gonna go ahead and reiterate this. 2 pages for special thanks. Pretty much. But let me go ahead and say this right here. Jenny2, who's in the chat here, was the one responsible for the artwork that was made for the Story of FleetQuest book. Was honestly, she did a really wonderful job with captured the kind of like the simplistic art style with what I want to go for the story. So let me start from there and kind of go from here. Sealy was good for the FleetQuest banner logo with the ears. Lapunny was, I don't get special thanks for the emotes there. Hey, that's me. Yeah. I just posted emotes in the chat. That was Lapunny's contribution. Sky Dragon Jaws had made 2 profile pictures for me that I have on my Discord, as well as my new profile pictures that I'll have out on social media and Twitch. It That Meowed also came up with the owl concept, which I did not post the owl concept art on here. I'll be happy to share that later if you want to ask about it. But it was the concept design made for the owl that Jenna Bean had redrawn into the 7 art pieces. The Rosa Amber was responsible for the Goober art, which we haven't seen yet, but you will see. Cassidy was responsible for the chibi headbang that you see that was in earlier in the slide and the opening. Serafina was the one responsible for pre-debut music. I commissioned them as well. They're also the same person who does my sound alerts. So you may have heard the sound alerts early today. That was done by Serafina. Noah Sketch is now responsible for the new emotes that I have. Yeah, this has been a long time coming. I have been planning this debut since the beginning of January. And I had to wait the longest time for everyone to get their emotes, which I want to go ahead and post all of the emotes involved right now. They can all be found by subscribing. I think this is right. Yeah, I think this. I have a lot more emotes that I couldn't get to post, but all these emotes were done by Noah Sketch. Nangiri is the person responsible for the, I think it's the new profile. Oh yeah, the Discord server icon artwork. The little wiggle animation was done by Little Out of Place. Skeletal Art is the one responsible for this 4-piece here. This amazing piece, and I feel like it captures the adventure that I was one of my characters to be revolved by. I'm so happy that I'm an artist, so I don't have to spend or wait that much for stuff of mine. I am unfortunately not an artist. I'm a writer. So because of that, I'm I have to wait for mine, and I had to wait for a good long time. Basically, each one of these art pieces took at least a month to make, but I had to make sure that I had to get my assets together. And the longest thing that took was the overlay, which you are all about to see soon. Now, what is there? Oh yeah, speaking of, Amaneko-cha was responsible for my overlays that you're about to see. Glitter Azul is also getting thanks, even though we're not going to present him. I have a 3D model that I had commissioned to him that will be ready to present soon, but I wanted to run with this model for a little while before showing that one off. And lastly, the new theme music that you heard at the very beginning of the stream was made by Takata. And you will be hearing more from him soon, or her, I don't know what the pronouns are, because they're going to be making much more music for my Twitch channel. So yes, thank you all very much. Now then. Oh my god, I did not have it ready. What have I done? I thought I had it ready, and it didn't have it ready. No! I thought I had it ready, but I did not. Hold on. This is embarrassing. This is very, very embarrassing. Nope, it's too late now. It's too late. Embrace the void. Embrace it. We're gonna have to do some. Hold on, be right back. There it goes. Here, enjoy this.